Hi everyone, welcome to episode 3 of No Cash, No Worries, a series where we look into payment devices on the market for buskers. If you missed episodes 1 and 2, I will link them in a playlist up here and down below. Episode 1 was going through my ideal checklist, and episode 2 was going over my current payment device, the Square Reader. In today's episode, we're going to be having a look at the Square Stand, but this will be a first look, a bit more of a casual video than episode 2 was with my Square Reader and comparing it to my ideal checklist. So I do plan on doing a more formalized video on the Square Stand in the future, but for now, this is the video that actually sparked this whole series. And I rearranged things just so that the series would make more sense and start from the beginning and work our way through. So now we're going to be looking at some footage that was filmed about a month ago, and it was my first introduction to the Square Stand and researching, hey, what's out there on the market again today? So with that being said, let's go back in time a month to when I first looked at this Square Stand. Hi. In today's video, we're going to be having a look at the latest offering from Square, the Square Stand. This video is not sponsored. I just got an email the other day advertising this product, and it interested me because of a couple of things it said about putting the customer in charge and customer-driven checkouts. I currently am using the Square Reader, the $59 Australian device, and the Square Stand retails at $149 Australian, so it's 2.5 times the price. I'm interested to see whether it would be worth upgrading from this guy to the Square Stand for a busker like me. I'm not sure whether it will be better or worse than this guy. Obviously, you've already got the detriment of it being more expensive, whereas this is a very affordable device. It's also just very nice, and I've enjoyed using it. So, you know, Square, if you want to sponsor me, please reach out because I do love your device. So let's have a look at this email. I'm going to put you in screenshot mode so we can look at it together, and then we'll look at the website listing as well and see whether this would be something that would be viable to use while busking. Here's the email. So as we scroll down, we get our first look at the Square Stand, and you can see here we've got a nice big total. Then we have the items all in here, and we have another small total. We have insert, we have tap, we have some lights there around the tap icon, and we have another little icon here for, I'm guessing, inserting the card, and then the card would insert in this little slot here. So coming down, meet the new Square Stand, built-in payments with LED lights, customer-driven checkouts, and more, all in one simple point of sale. Now when we look here, this looks very familiar. Here we have the keypad, library, and favorites that I'm used to seeing. We have checkout, transactions, notifications, and more. We also have items and the current sale and the charge button here. All your items in the favorites menu. I think the menu button is the only thing that I am not familiar with, but that could just be that I'm used to using the app on my Android phone and not an iOS, iPad, this version of the app. Let's scroll down. Streamline your counter. Integrated contactless payments means there's no need for additional readers and counters can stay clutter-free. Put the customer in charge from confirming the total to paying. Customers drive their checkout for secure contactless and PIN payments with full encryption. Set up in minutes. Simple, secure, reliable. Just plug in Stand, connect your iPad, and open the Square point of sale app. So let's learn more. Along here, we can already see we've got different options available to us. We've got the entry-level Square Reader, then we have the Square Terminal, Square Stand, Square Register, and the accessories and hardware kits. So let's scroll down. A powerful iPad point of sale, a built-in card reader, and even smoother checkouts for $149 Australian. So there's what we've seen before. Also to be noted, there is a swivel stand here. So this part here, it will swivel around really easily. But that being said, I don't know if there's a 1/4 inch thread underneath that would make it easier to mount on a tripod and that sort of thing. But yeah, it's all right for a countertop, and that seems to be what it's sort of made for. So iPad to point of sale in minutes. One simple device that's easy every step of the way. Just download the Square point of sale app and start selling. No training or service visits required. Compatible with 10.2 and 10.5 iPads. So when we look at the compatibility here, we have just this small array of compatible iPads Funnily enough, I do actually have an iPad 7th gen. I got it to play around with GarageBand, but yeah, I guess I could try and use it in this way. I just never really thought of it before. Fast and intuitive checkout. Simply add items and swivel. SquareStand has a customer-driven checkout and built-in card readers with guiding LED lights. The customer can confirm their order and pay. So to me, that doesn't sound like the customer's initiating anything. It's just you get to the payment screen, you flip around and they do that. So there's really no difference to like holding up your phone and this and being like, here is what I'm charging you for and pay. So payment simplified, tap blinking lights and contactless payment logo clearly mark where customers can tap a contactless device. So I mean, that's nice. We've got some lights there. We've got like this tap sign. I can see how that could work, you know, a little better than what we currently have. Now insert the chip and pin symbol and LED lights guide customer to insert a chip card, which is funny because we've still got like this light over here. There's no light over here, but we've still got like the insert thing here. So I'm not sure whether they accidentally mucked up the graphics on that one or not, but yeah, so okay, you know, so far it's not standing out as having like huge benefits to it. Put the customer in charge in a swivel. SquareStand becomes a customer display so you can sell accurately and they can confirm their total and pay. We've got someone entering a PIN there on the screen, someone paying with a phone, but I think that's about it. After having a look at all this, I got in contact with a customer service rep and I was able to ask a few questions to get a better idea of this device being used for busking. So let's have a look at those questions. Just to save time, I'm going to summarize that conversation. So here is the information I gathered. It doesn't have an inbuilt battery. It does require constant power from a wall outlet, which is 100 to 240 volts. Your iPad doesn't need to be 4G or 5G capable with its own data SIM, but it does require a Wi-Fi connection to process payments. The iPad automatically charges while it's docked in the SquareStand. The SquareStand doesn't go to sleep, but you do need to set the iPad timeout to never in settings to keep the iPad from timing out though. And the point of sale app used with the SquareStand is the same one used with the Square Reader. So at the end of the day, do I think that it's worth upgrading from the Square Reader to the SquareStand? Not really, not for buskers. There's too many downsides to the SquareStand in terms of portability that the Square Reader already has at that lower price point. And basically, if you have this with your device, there's not really too much difference between having the iPad and that SquareStand paired together. So with this device, you do get like a wider range of compatibility with Android and iOS devices, whereas with the SquareStand, you are limited to that small amount of compatible iPads. You've also got the rechargeable battery in the Square Reader, which you do not get in the SquareStand. You need to have that plugged into power. So though there are ways to work around that in your busking setup, it's not as ideal as having something like this that, you know, is ready to go. So I wouldn't upgrade from this. And I think as a busker, if you were looking at getting your first Square device, the Square Reader would be the way to go. Okay, we're gonna have to pause that footage right here. I am editing this video and today I've discovered a couple of things that make it not so cut and dry as it seemed last night. So I installed the iPad version of the app to have a look at it. And this is like what we saw on the listing, but when we click charge, this is the checkout screen that we get. And when we compare that to the SquareStand's checkout screen, this does not look as good as this. And I think this one's called the all payment types checkout screen, and this one is the buyer facing checkout screen. And that is just a huge draw card. Like, that is so much easier for someone who is donating to understand. All those lights, they are pretty great to show exactly what they need to do. So I would really give it props on that front. In terms of the power, it does need constant power. So that means that you do have to have it plugged in some way. So I have my equipment setup where I have a sealed lead acid battery connected to an inverter, and then I have my amp plugged into that. Well, I can add a power board there and plug something else in along with the amp. I never run out of that amp battery, so I think I've still got a certain sort of reserve of power that I could be drawing from that battery when I go busking, and hopefully the square stand doesn't take too much, but it would need some testing to see whether or not that would be a factor. Then we have a 2.5 to 4.4 length of cable to plug it in, so that is great. The next biggest issue is transporting something that is a lot larger. So not only the iPad size, but then you've got the sort of awkward shape of the actual stand. But, you know, maybe that would have to have its own bag or something, like a bit of a solid, rigid sort of bag, keep it protected. It's also a lot heavier. In total, with the iPad, it's about 2.5 kilo. Whereas when you're using the square reader in the phone setup, you're talking about 220 grams. So it's like 10 times the weight. Also, the iOS version of the app, you can set the screen time out to be never. On my S9, I need to do a little workaround so that it won't turn off the screen. Then the last thing I've been like thinking about is how do you mount the square stand? So there's lots of things that are running through my mind, and I haven't quite worked out the best way for that to happen. It does have some things going for it, but that being said, you do need to have an iPad already, and you need to be okay with like taking that out as part of your busking setup, because everything you take out you're putting at risk. So we've jumped forward another couple of days. I actually went to Officeworks last night to see whether I could have a look at a display model of the square stand, but unfortunately they did not have one. I really just wanted to inspect the bottom of it and see whether it would fit like the tripod thread. So I couldn't check that, but they did have a couple in stock, and they brought one of them out to me in its box. And when it appeared, I was very shocked because it was big and it was heavy. Anyway, these are the dimensions again, and here were the square reader dimensions, and here was just like, I did a mock-up of having them next to each other, and this is, you know, approximate, but pretty close, I think, to the difference in size there. And as you can see, the square stand is way, way bigger. So yeah, I'm still kind of on the fence, because part of me does just want to get one so I can like tear into this box and find out what the screw underneath is like and see how I could mount it, and just work out all the questions I have in my mind. But then it's also like, well, okay, now I'm going to tell you guys. I was Googling and I came across the American version of the Square website, which revealed something to me. So I'll show it now. So here's the American version, and there's a few different things, including the stand mount. And so I was like, oh, is this a mount for the stand? But no, it's just a version of the stand without like the actual stand part. And so here we have a look. Put your POS on the wall, counter, or anywhere in your store. Coming soon, notify me. And there it is. It's just the top section, and it's on this like angled counter stand, and then on a flat wall stand, and then there's a closer look at how it goes onto these mounts. It's exactly the same screen part. It fits the same iPads. It just is everything the Square stand is without needing that stand portion on there all the time. So this would be so much more convenient for busking. The problem is it's not listed on the Australian site, so I don't know if it's coming to Australia. So I need to reach out and ask them whether they think this is possibly coming here, because I don't want to spend $150 on like the version we have now, the Square stand, if they're going to bring out this Square stand mount version, which would be just way better. I have to interrupt myself again, because once again I'm sitting here editing and I just saw something that I didn't even see while I was scrolling through this website, and that was the Browse Kiosk apps. So now I need to look at this. Easily set up a self-service kiosk with integrated third-party software. You can add a self-service kiosk to your space that lets customers order and check out entirely on their own. Oh, I feel like I have just been so deep in like research. And so obviously things are getting past me. I have to change it to screenshot mode. Let me show you what I'm saying. Kiosk apps for Square Stand Mount. Integrate partner apps with a flexible Square Stand mount to create a self-serve kiosk and take your checkout flow to new heights. There it is. Affix it to a wall, countertop, or any 100 by 100 mil VESA compatible mount to make orders and payments easy. Use the included mounting hardware to easily set up a kiosk for efficient checkout or to clear space on your countertop for your best sellers. So there is it just on a floor stand. So recommended kiosk apps. These apps make it easy to add a self-service kiosk option with Square Stand Mount. Customers can browse items, order, and pay independently. Speed up your lines, maximize employee efficiency, and save on staffing costs with the self-serve kiosk checkout option. Connect Square Stand Mount to Flash Order to create a beautiful kiosk ordering experience for your customers, no matter the size of your business. Alternatively, connect Kiosk Buddy to import items directly from your Square item library and fully tailor your kiosk settings, branding, and checkout experience. I reckon this is going to be expensive. And anyway, personalize the whole flow from prompting customers for order names to pickup times to tip amounts and more. Finally, turn Caillou for a kiosk ordering system that also works on the web, SMS bot, and a customized app. However you adapt your business, do it with ease by connecting the new Square Stand Mount to flexible integrations that will help you run your business your way. I can't even explain to you guys. I have just been in this like big black hole of like card readers, research, information for like the past few weeks. And this is so exciting to me because if you can get it to work with the Square Stand mount, then you could probably get it to work with the Square Stand on the iPad. And so if this is sort of being advertised already, perhaps these apps are already available and I just haven't come across them yet and I can go and have a look at them. Oh, okay. So a full digital ordering and management system for restaurants of any size. Let customers order and pay on their own with an iPad kiosk. Extend your customer reach with mobile ordering, kiosk, and curbside pickup. I need to check out these apps. I will have to make a separate video continuing on from here because there is just too much to look into. This video is already too long. So the big thing here is the weight is 710 grams, which when you add the iPad's weight of just under 500, we're up to like 1.2. So it's just a little under half the weight of that Square Stand, which would be so much more convenient. So now I think I might have to wait, but I'm going to reach out and ask them about it, see whether it's something that's going to come out and if they've got an ETA on when that might be, if it is coming. That's kind of where I'm at, on the fence, like one step away from just going out and spending the money and getting a Square Stand. And one step away from just like going, nope, I'm going to reconsider my options because $150 is $150 and something like this would just be way more convenient. So anyway, back to what I was saying a few days ago. So unfortunately, the Square Stand is not the holy grail, ideal busking payment device that I was hoping it might be, but that being said, it's got me thinking again about what is available on the market. So far, I think the best option I have available to me is something that's come about because of this Square Stand, and that is a way to optimize your Square Reader to accept busking donations without having to interrupt your busking performance. So if you're interested in seeing how I have done that, then please subscribe, make sure notifications are turned on so you're notified when I post that. I'm hoping it'll come out really soon because I am just so keen to share this with you. I'm really excited and I'm like so keen to test it out, actually take it out there and see whether people are inclined to use it and whether making these changes actually pays off in the long run rather than having to do it all myself. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did, and I will hopefully see you around. Bye.